so let me test the volume now that my phone realizes I'm live. Does my phone realize I'm live yet? My phone takes so long to actually acknowledge that I'm live, and I don't really know why, because I am trying to keep using it for feedback, and it's not really helping here. Okay, so I think the mic volume is fine, but I don't really know about the... I think the game audio could stand to be a little bit louder. It's at negative 27 now, instead of negative 31. Yeah, it's better. Okay. So, what's up? Oh, did I put that I have mic in the title? Nope. Well, that sucks. So hopefully that everyone that sees this after this updates. And just to make sure it updates, I'm gonna do it in chat, because Nightbot will actually tell me if it updates. Okay. What's up, everyone? So this has been something that I've been trying to playtest for a while, and I kind of just was gonna do after I finished Storks. kr00mmi's been in the chat for a while and been hanging out for a while, so I thought it'd be cool to be able to test out his stuff. I haven't actually played the first two Terminus games. I assume I'm not like really like missing lore or anything that I'll need for this one or anything. But I think it'll be kind of nice to be able to give a little bit of feedback here. I haven't played any of kr00mmi's stuff, but it seems fun. So first things first, you might want to move the title screen up, because I don't know if people really care about that, but Eldad might comment on it, I guess. After his princesses. Oh. So he told me that their Terminus 3 is pretty early in the development, so this is 6 exits, and then he sent me a ROM later for the 7th exit. I don't know if these are in order really, but I guess we'll just go ahead and go in order. I'm not sure how long these levels are or anything either, but I guess we'll figure it out. I like your chairs. I wasn't really expecting the Yoshi house to be there, but it's a cute level. Okay. I like the background. It's nice. So first impression, I had no idea where I was going in this pipe. I don't know if that's by design or not, but like there's not really any kind of indication for me to know where I'm supposed to be going. It may not be the worst idea to color code these pipes based on that. Like have this blue pipe right here be green, and then have the pipe, oh, I have it set so you can't see my mouse anymore, but the green pipe that's currently above the pipe that I jumped into, maybe make that like orange or something. I think just color coding the pipe in the direction that you're going will be a little less jarring there, because honestly I thought I was going to go a lot higher, and then when the screen jumped down I thought I was going to go a lot lower, and then I just kind of popped out here. Just first impression, I guess. Not really sure where I thought I was going with that shell jump. And I guess just as a heads up to everyone, everything I say on stream about criticism and stuff just comes from a place of my initial reactions and trying to just offer what I can. Like, I take as much as you want or don't, I guess. Like, I don't know. I worry sometimes that I'm a little bit harsh with criticism sometimes, but just friendly reminder that it always comes from a place where I just want to help, I guess. I have no idea where I am currently planning on landing on the show, but it's not where I have been. Hey Ari, thanks for the host. How are you doing? Oh, for sure. Okay, so that right there might have been a good example of what I was talking about a couple minutes ago, where like I kind of had no idea I was getting spit out of that pipe, so there was kind of no time for me to react to that, and like, yeah, that may be kind of what you're going for, but just my personal opinion with these pipes is like, especially if you're doing something like this, like maybe just at least color code the direction that you're going in, so it at least makes sense like what pipe you're in. Because as of right now, I kind of have no idea where I'm going in this level. And, like, once I fall into a segment, I will probably be fine. But just learning it blind, I guess that's my opinion currently. It's fun, but I guess that's just the one thing I would potentially change to make it a little bit more clear, I guess. And again, like, after I know where the pipes are going, it's not really that big of a deal. Because, like, my eyes already know where to go. But trying to figure it out initially is kind of intense. And that time I just didn't really do the jump I was supposed to do. But I still don't entirely know if I'm supposed to fall or jump into that blue pipe. I'm going to assume fall into the blue pipe. But I did see something with a shell on what looked like one F-Zero over there. So maybe I have to fall into the shell, activate the block, and then go up there. That makes more sense. Okay. Okay, yeah, so there's definitely a Koopa down there. That's got to be like a vine or something to make it so I can actually go into that pipe. I don't know how I exactly thought I was... No, can you get through that, actually? It'd be really hard, but... Probably harder than intended. I'll try the intended way first, I guess, because I think it's just be on the left side of that pipe, hit the block, hit the Koopa. But I think with like a super precise jump, you could theoretically get through there. And I know I already commented on it, but the background's awesome. I like the color scheme that you chose as well. I would just probably prefer the pipes to be color coordinated based on like the direction that they're going in. But the colors themselves are like perfect and fine for the level, which is nice. Okay. So I just gotta run to the left, run to the right. Okay, stop doing that. And then bounce off of the ceiling onto the platform, off of the Koopa again. Seems like a pretty tricky move. Mom spot, yes. How you doing? Why not? Okay, so that is what you do. It's just pretty tight. So I don't know if I just missed my ride. I don't know if I'm gonna go over to this winged platform thing. I guess I'm gonna wait for this Koopa to go back in case I'm getting spit out right here. Okay. Waited like I was supposed to, but then missed the obstacle anyway. I feel like I basically got it though. At least I was able to see that I was probably gonna get spit out there. Yeah, I kind of already touched on that, but it's just a little difficult to tell where you're actually going to get spit out in this level. But it's pretty easy to fix just by like palette swapping some of these. I didn't think I was going to bounce off that. Just by palette swapping some of those pipes just to be the same color. Like I was saying, I like all the colors, it's just it would help if they were kind of spaced out a little bit. Like if this is just a blue pipe all the way up, and then that pipe underneath me that I'm kicking the shell onto is on an all orange pipe or something like that. Just kind of spacing out the colors here might help out a little bit more, I think. It's a fun level so far though. I haven't really touched too much on the gameplay, but it is an interesting level, and that move right there is a lot more consistent when you actually know what you're doing. Am I... Alright, so thing number 2 that I'm having trouble with as a blind player for this, I have no idea. Okay, I actually have to put my mouse on 1 second. I think I can do this by properties, capture cursor. Okay. Because cursor actually helps for playtesting stuff. So I have no idea what this block is. I don't know if it's just like a used block that I can land on and like wait for this platform to come back. I don't know if it's like a custom death block. Because it's like the background color, I'm almost kind of inclined to say it's a death block that's just over this, but I don't actually really know for sure. That aside, trying to figure out what to do, I assume I just grab the shell and then jump back in here and then go around again. Which brings me to thing number 2, which I'm confused about with this section. I don't really know if this is 1F0 or just like an actual glass block. I assume it's 1F0, but in my opinion, if you are using this as 1F0, you might want to, I don't know if this is like a later game level where it's already indicated or not, but since it's the first one I played, I guess, I don't really know what that block is doing there, and it's kind of confusing me more than anything. So, that said, let's just get back to it. I always feel like I'm really harsh in playtesting, but I just wanted to remind again that all I am recommending is stuff that in my opinion, can help and make it a little bit more clear, and I just always want to make it very clear that I'm trying to come from a place of helping and not just like criticizing, because I don't want anyone to like take it personally or anything, because like I said, this is fun. I just always want to try to recommend stuff that I see, especially to make stuff a little bit more blind friendly, because I feel like that's something that you can't really see super well, especially as a creator. Okay, so I can't come back out here. I kind of just wanted to test that would let me back out to see if it was a soft lock without the shell. I assumed it wasn't, but good playtester would check. At first, I was going to recommend, like, the first time I was learning this platform section, I was going to recommend some kind of a coin indicator because I thought you had to, like, sort of blind fall onto the Koopa. And I'm glad I did not, because that, like, run back and forth is cool, but also, like, definitely cannot be indicated by coins in any way, really. So, bears repeating, but the platforming in this level is very fun. Yo, Light. Yeah, I'm having fun with it. It's been good playtesting so far. Hopefully, everything I'm offering as advice, Krumi will be able to take. So go down here. So hit the shell duck. Okay. I kind of figured that had to be a sprite destruction block, but just a little confusing, I guess. I guess that's why that's there, though, because how else would you get through this obstacle? Alternatively, I'm not recommending a redesign for this section, but just, like, throwing out an idea here. I don't know if the shell could be used later in the level, but you could just get rid of this block here, leave this as the death block, or even just like a regular block and put a muncher right here or something, and then use this to like re-grab the shell and use it later. I don't know if that conflicts with design stuff, but in terms of flow recommendation, it seemed like that could work. Maybe that's unwarranted because I haven't actually seen the rest of the section yet, but that was just a random thought I had. So, getting back into it. I assume I'm falling on this rope. Okay. So now that I've understood the flow of this level, oh, that is just a jump. Okay, I thought it was a runoff, but I guess 2 tiles is too far for that. Like I've been saying, this is a fun level. I like all the little isolated platforming stuff that still flow together really well. Okay, so that is a death block. I just kind of wanted to check. I don't really have a problem with those custom blocks, by the way. It's just as a player who's blind to this kind of stuff, I feel like it's helpful to indicate to a player who's never really seen these blocks before kind of what they do, before having them in a kind of complex setup like this. Because, like, it's a fun setup and it works really well, and, like, once you kind of look at it for a while, you can kind of piece together what the blocks probably do. But yeah, just kind of blind player's opinion. And also one who is only slowly but surely coming around to chocolate design stuff. I do kind of want to see if you could skip this, though, because I feel like if you get a very precise angle, you might be able to. Maybe not. I guess it's worth trying one more time, but it doesn't really matter if you can, because this is still super hard. Yeah, that's not worth doing at all. The intended way is way easier. I just wanted to see if it was possible. So, I kind of wish this Koopa was one to the left so I could just instantly go through this section. I don't know if the Koopa is timed out like that because of the wing platform. Yeah, and like honestly, like I was able to figure out what to do with the shell blind, so it's not like I was completely like unable to figure it out, but I also have slightly more experience with chocolate mechanics than some people do, at least after some of the stuff I've been playing recently. So it's not always a guarantee that some other players will be able to figure that out, and just depending on how approachable you're trying to make the hack, I guess, it might be worth kind of just having a section where, like, actually, for example, this may not be the worst spot to explain this. Like, if you had the sprite destruction block like right here or something, and then maybe like a turn block right here, and force this to be a segment where you had basically like one shot to do it before the shell destroyed. Um, that could be something where like it's a super simple addition to it, but it also shows the player right here that that glass block is going to destroy the shell, because when you use it later in the level and try to figure it out like on the fly, it sort of helps to have the knowledge of like what it does first, because like it's not very hard to make that with 2 shots. It may be a little bit harder with a smaller bucket, I guess, but I think it might be worth doing to be able to show the player what to do there. Just as a suggestion, I guess. Because like honestly, anytime I set it up with more than 2 bounces anyway, at least personally, I'm not able to do it. But I always like to personally introduce those little spots that, especially when I'm using stuff that's like not super vanilla, introduce those like small spots of like what to do with a thing before playing around with the thing a lot. Just so even the dumbest player, such as myself, would be able to understand what those things do right away. Alright, so let's buckle down and actually make some progress in this now that I know what to do. I feel like I had to have been pretty close to a midway that time I died to the runoff. Yeah, third wall. Yeah, so I guess this is a decent time to talk about this again. So since my wife is in class on Wednesdays until like 9 p.m., I decided that I'm going to start at least trying to stream with Mike on Wednesdays where I'm able to. It's not going to be like every Wednesday, but especially since I'm playtesting tonight, I really didn't want to have to like write down every single thought I had. So I thought, hey, you can make it. Hey! Too bad I fucked it up anyway, but so that's not like cheese that's worth getting rid of or anything, because honestly that felt cool enough that like even though I knew it was possible, you should still keep it, and it's obviously still way harder than the intended strategy. So but yeah, how are you doing tonight? Third wall and light. Actually, I don't think I like actually said hi to you. Hope you guys are doing well. Move that Koopa so I can just one cycle this. Oh, nice. Thank you. You know, even though you typed I'm Anna, I still read it as gonna. I don't know if that's just a sign of me knowing what you were gonna say anyway, or my shitty reading. But thank you. What the fuck was that spawn? I mean, you're talking to the dude that spends literally like 40 hours a week on Twitch on mobile. So I definitely understand. I feel like I typo more often than not. I'm just grateful that you guys don't care. Okay, so it looks like sometimes that Koopa spawn just like resets. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling, because honestly, the rest of this level's really fun, and like, if the pipe palettes were fixed to be a little bit more clear, I think this level would be like really, really, really great, honestly, because all of these things are fun. That Koopa spawn does seem a little weird, though. The shell also seems low. Maybe my opinion of that'll change once I play with this a little bit more. But it just kind of feels like I'm waiting an awkwardly long time to grab that shell. And it's sort of like artificially inflating the difficulty of that jump. And I mean, like, that's fine if that's what you're going for, I guess. But if you're looking for a way to nerf this level without it, like, devastating the level, I guess, raising that shell that's on the 1F0, even just, like, a tile up or to the left, I don't even think you need to do both, would make that jump a lot smoother and give a little bit more leeway, I guess. I assume that was because of the underground, but I don't know what he's talking about with that. I love Tofu, but sometimes he, yeah, I was gonna say, sometimes he just kind of likes to fuck with people, so I wouldn't really take it too personally. I think he said on his stream earlier today, actually, that he kind of views his stream as like a gang, where if you can survive the razzing, you're good enough to be there, and if not, whatever. Also, now that I'm looking at this level a little bit more, I do see now that, like, these screws are supposed to indicate, like, the direction that you're going in, which makes sense, but if you're going to use that graphic to indicate, like, the direction where these things are, I would recommend making these not have screws at all. Or just making this like one solid pipe and then using them only at the intersections of stuff, just to kind of clean up the graphics a little bit and make it a little less visually confusing. Because again, I really like everything in the level visually, it just can slightly be like tweaked a little bit just to be a little easier to read, I think. Yeah, Tofu came by once in here and he was really chill. I think he's like a very chill person that also just likes fucking with people a lot. And that's fine. It's just, yeah. So let's actually make progress now. Okay, so maybe I have to come at this a little sooner. I don't really know how I like one-shot this and now I'm having like a ton of problems with it. Because like it felt pretty good that one time I did it. But now that I'm like trying to learn it, I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, I used to kind of fuck with people a lot more. And then to be perfectly honest, I went to college and did a lot of drugs and stopped fucking with people because someone fucked with me and I didn't really like it that much. But that's not exactly a story that a lot of other people have. Maybe I can just stall on here, actually. Not to immediately pivot back to the level or anything. But yeah, if you ever wondered why I'm not really the type to fuck with someone, I guess that's why. Have a good one, dude. Thanks for testing on Friday, by the way, and see you later. Thanks for stopping by. And if you don't, go follow Third Wall, because he's very good. Yeah, this jump is so precise that definitely, like, just because I made it that one time, don't fix that, because that's pretty rare cheese, and I feel like if you get it, you kind of deserve it. And I like when creators kind of reward players for being good enough to sort of break their setups. I don't like it when setups can just be, like, broken without any kind of effort whatsoever or anything, but, like, if you can do a way more precise jump to get through a setup unintended, but it's like faster or something. I feel like having those kinds of speed strats in games is always kind of fun, especially when it's unintentional, but then the creator decides to keep it in there after it's discovered anyway, I guess. Just my opinion, no. Oh, I didn't get the sound effect, that was weird. I'm pretty confused how I got this shell right away that one time, and I have not gotten it since. I must have like fast-falled, like I landed on the gray platform, and then I fast-fell onto it again. I said fast-fold, but... So like, jump around, fast-fall, and jump back up. But actually like grab it is my only guess, I guess. I'm very surprised I've even gotten this at all, if that's the precise move that I had to do. Kind of forgot that Muncher was even there, honestly. I don't know if it really needs to be. I mean, I guess it got me, but... never mind, I guess it does force the regrab there, and I just kind of forgot about it that one time. Alright, so in the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and save state there just so I don't have to keep doing this obstacle over and over again. Because I have sort of forgotten completely what to do. I normally don't use save states on stream, so I'm sorry I'm doing it, but for the purposes of playtesting, it sort of makes more sense to do it. I'm very confused how I got this on my first shot, because I am pretty clueless on how to do it now. Unless you can just run to the edge of the gray platform. Or alternatively, I don't know if there's a way for you to link a small pipe to a big pipe on this side, but if you had that extra tile that I kind of like just landed on to up jump right here, you may not even need to move the shell. But I don't know if you can link, like if you have one that's like 1x2, because that might be kind of weird, I guess. I don't know if that's an option, but just throwing it out there since I keep dying to this jump over and over again. And again, I guess I don't entirely know how difficult Terminus 3 is, or how the other Terminus games are. So all of these difficulty nerfing recommendations could not really mean anything. But they're just my personal opinion, I guess. Because this jump just feels a little tight compared to everything else in the level. Because I don't really know what else I could have done better there. Or there. Like, I feel like if I'm right there on both of those attempts, I should be getting it. Because I feel like I've done what you're asking me to do. But I still just kind of keep falling a little short. And if I was playing this seriously, this could get frustrating kind of quick. Because, like, that's 4 attempts now where I kind of feel like I did exactly what you wanted me to do. Because, like, I don't really have time to... unless it's just dependent and I'm just getting a weird winged block cycle here, and I just need to keep doing it from the beginning. But I think because of the waiting that you have to do on the Koopa, that winged platform should always kind of be in that position, as far as I know at least. Yeah, it's pretty much, it's always going to be swinging up and right here-ish whenever you get here, just because of the way the camera is scrolling and the way you have to wait on the Koopa. I guess it's possible that it's a little bit better of a setup if I get there on the correct cycle, but this is beginning to feel like it's slightly spawn dependent based on the tile that you're waiting on right here. Because I feel like if you're waiting on this tile where the muncher's at, then you're spawning the Koopa, but you're not actually spawning the winged block. And the setup completely breaks, which is kind of what I was worried about. So that might be something to consider, I guess. I don't know. That's a pretty precise move to do, but when you're trying to figure out spawn setups and stuff, especially for a jump that's as precise as this, like, one of the things I would think to do is try to do that, and it unfortunately, like, completely messes with the timing of it. And then even when it feels like I have the timing right, I'm not always there. Unless I'm just doing this wrong and I'm a complete fucking idiot. In which case, disregard. But I'm pretty sure you can't stall this out over here. It would help if I actually, like, jumped when I was supposed to. I don't think you can do this. But if this is the intended solution, then this is also pretty precise, because I feel like a lot of these jumps are getting eaten. Yeah, that can't be right. I have returned. It's like, I can't really figure out a way to speed this up. Yeah, this is pretty goddamn precise. I don't really know why I said goddamn, but that's how precise it is apparently. I have no problem saying goddamn, it just really felt like saying goddamn in that one specific instance, I guess. So, I feel like unless I got like a really weird spawn on this save state, I feel like me trying to save state spam that jump and not getting it in 10 minutes is kind of rough. So depending on how much longer this level takes, I might try to move on to another one. Every other obstacle of the level that I played was fun. This shell one seems like it might be a little tight as is. Yeah, well, the thing is, Light, like, the first time I got it, I think I just happened to get the exact jump I was supposed to get, so I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. But as I kind of kept doing this level from the beginning, like, it kind of felt like my setups for this Koopa / winged platform thing were always just a little different. And the problem with Kaizo stuff is when there's like that variability of like where you're standing and when you're standing. Like, especially with stuff that's as precise as that, like it sort of removes a lot of the flexibility that the rest of the level had, I guess, is the easiest way to put it. And again, it could just be me not getting the jump and doing something completely differently than I did the first time and just not remembering it. But I'm pretty sure all I did the first time was just go down, grab the shell, and pop back up. It did feel that first time like I like barely made that jump, but I kind of just assumed it was okay to feel that way about the jump. Because I feel like every other time I'm coming up a tile short, like pretty much every time. But I will probably actually, since the save state is proving to basically not really be any worse than just doing the jump anyway, let's just get through this. Fuck. I was just gonna save state after I did the shell thing. If I would have realized I was gonna fuck up the shell thing, I would have just save stated with the shell, but that's okay. Yeah, this jump is rough. Okay. We're doing it this way now. This jump feels really tight to ask out of the player after all of that, in my opinion. I was kind of expecting like a midway after that runoff potentially, but I just realized that there's like another obstacle after that, which is pretty tough. Because like, honestly, like, I don't really consider myself a great Kaizo player, but I would like to at least consider myself average now. And like, this feels pretty goddamn hard. Maybe it's not as hard as it feels like, I guess, but... Oof. Vertical pipes, why? I am going to keep the save state from back here, though. I'm going to pause it so I don't have to keep jumping back in at that exact spot of the music. Sorry, that shit drives me nuts even if I have to unpause every single time. At least it's a smoother transition back into the level. I just know when I'm a viewer and I'm hearing someone save state spam, it's really annoying when it just cuts back to the exact same loop of the music over and over again. So I'd rather have to unpause and sort of have your ears slightly forget. Shoutouts to psychology tricks. Like it's still the same do-do-do-do-do, but whatever. At least you have to wait a second before hearing it again. Except when I fuck up the rope jump over and over again. Just to prove a point. Yeah, this jump feels... Honestly, I think this jump would be perfectly fine if the midway was right here. Like, if this was like your last fucking jump, you gotta do this jump, but you jumped right into the midway right here, I would have zero problem with this. But because there's this into that fuzzy stuff, this feels like kind of excessive, in my opinion. But again, I guess I don't really know the difficulty that you're going for. Just... even based off the difficult... Oh, there's more. Is that a blind left jump? Can I go... I don't want to go back, right? I can't go back. So the only way I can go is blind left. Okay. So let's go back to not using save states for this. That first half was pretty tough. I don't know exactly like if that's the intended difficulty, so feel free to like not take really any of that criticism, but I'll just keep going from here. I normally don't save state spam and stuff, but that one obstacle was kind of killing me. And I imagine that's an obstacle that could potentially be nerfed fairly easily to be a lot more consistent. And then honestly, a lot of the issues that I was having with the level before probably wouldn't even really be that big of a deal. I will say that that did kind of feel like a lot of obstacles before midway. I am very fortunate I remembered to hold left. Maybe platforms that go left. Oh, that, or right, that wasn't expected. Okay, so I don't know if these are used in an earlier level or not, so it's kind of hard to say, but I definitely thought that these were the platforms from the Invictus that just dropped down and then rose back up. So this is sort of going back to the glass block thing that I was recommending before, where like if this was used earlier in the level at all, I wouldn't have had a problem with using it in an obstacle like that. But it sort of sucks to die to that because I had no idea what it was, I guess, is the easiest way to say that. And that is not the right timing for that. But it's been probably 20 minutes since I said it, so please, as a reminder, any playtesting feedback that I have is meant to be helpful and coming from a good place, so please do not take offense to it, hopefully. Yeah, because, like, I don't have any problem with that obstacle at all. It's just, it kind of sucked that that I died to it because I had no idea what it was doing. And granted, I could have just gotten good and beaten it anyway. But it was just a little... It just kind of caught me off guard. And like this one, I have no idea if this one will also go right or if this one will go up. So it kind of feels like I just have to guess there. I assume it's going to go up, but I don't actually know. So we'll find out together. I guess I haven't really mentioned this though, but I do like the music for this level too. It kind of fits the underground pipe theme that you have going. And like the theming of the level is really cool. I do want to mention some positives and stuff since I feel like I sort of just like ragged on that obstacle for a while. But it just felt a lot tighter than everything else in the level. And like even with save states and stuff, it felt kind of overly tight for this level, I guess, in my opinion. Okay. This part isn't as hard as I'm making it look. I just am not doing it well. I just kind of want to make that clear to everyone. There's nothing wrong with the design of this part, I'm just not very good at it. Hey dude, how's it going? I had your stuff lined up to playtest after this, just as a heads up. But how are you doing tonight? Man, like, this is not as hard as I'm making it look, because I understand completely what to do here. I just am not very good at it. Thank you for the host. I really appreciate that. Okay, so I gotta land on, I'm assuming the top one. Wrap around. How many tiles is this? 1, 2. This has to go up, I assume. And then I'm assuming there's a pipe I go into up there, which drops me off onto that rope down there. Alright, so I gotta go a lot faster than I've been going. Can I just stay on the top one? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Not what I'm supposed to do, because even when I made it, I was like barely on it. This level, by the way, has so many vertical pipe entries. And that's not a problem, but it is going to be the bane of many Mario players' existences just because it's a lot of vertical pipe entries in a row. I really like the flow of this segment, though. Like, zero complaints. It's very fun. Oh. Alright, so... However, this does go back to the thing I was talking about where I had no idea that I was supposed to jump on this to trigger this. Like, it's a different color, so, like, in hindsight, yeah, I should have used a different way to do this, but I feel like there was no way of knowing that. Yeah. Like, now I know, but it, again, was kind of one of those things that you are just gonna die to blind. And the only reason I'm complaining about this is because the rest of the level is so clear and easy to understand that the few things that aren't kind of stand out a little bit more. Yeah, that's a hard level, and that pipe is like not very many frames. I don't remember if it's only 2 frames or if I'm just making that up, but it's definitely not that many. So good job. I feel like I was not necessarily prepared for this to be as hard as it is, but that's okay. I guess I would have been more prepared had I played Terminus 1 and 2. Rope. Oh. So that sucks. He gave me 6 exits to test in this one and then a 7th the other day. So I was kind of expecting to be able to get through a little bit more, but I'll be on for a couple of hours, so maybe this will be like a 2 to 3 day stream. I don't know if I'll be able to stream with Mike for every single level of it, if it's a 2-day stream, but we'll see. I guess as a heads up for the streaming schedule, well, as a heads up for the streaming schedule on that note, I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow. If Taylor's doing homework, I probably will. But as far as I know, that's still the night that we agreed to not have stream tonight, or just stream at all, because she wanted a night a week where I was just off Twitch and stuff, which is definitely understandable. I just want to make sure it's a night where she's like off homework and stuff too. So if that is tomorrow, that's what I'm doing, and if not, it'll probably be Friday. And then Saturday's stream will either be in the morning or the night. I know some weekends I've been trying to do multiple streams, but I'll definitely only be having one stream on Saturday. I don't know if it's going to be in the evening yet or not. And then Sunday I'll probably be streaming all day. I don't know. Should be a lot of stream time recently. I'm at least trying to stream a decent amount through September. Just because I feel like September's been fun to stream in. It's been a good month to stream. And you guys have definitely been very supportive, so I want to make sure I'm streaming to support you guys supporting me, I guess. Alright, let's buckle down and focus so I can reward myself with a smoke break here. Like, I could also just reach for the pen that I have right now, but I feel like it'll be more rewarding if I get it after a clear. No! I thought I needed those platforms, so I jumped far. Oh, that Kaizo is funny. I'm not even really mad about it. I'm just mad that I hit it. Okay. So the second half is honestly pretty perfect. The only thing I might recommend is using those platforms somewhere in the first segment. So it's not a surprise. I don't know. I personally kind of like to design my levels to be possible to be one shot. And I feel like with these chocolate mechanics, like, unless you're super familiar. Yeah, please keep that, Kaizo. That was a very good one. I normally am pretty picky about my Kaizo blocks, but with the way you have this set up and you keep having to return to these gray platforms, there's definitely the panic of like, oh shit, I gotta go, I gotta do this big jump to catch up, and you're not really like even, at least for me, considering there being a Kaizo there. More experienced players obviously kind of probably think about that, or just survey the situation and not freak out like I did, but you had me trained to freak out, so good job. So, like, I know you can one-cycle it, I just don't know why I'm not trying to go for it consistently. Because all I gotta do is fall right instead of left. Ah. Okay, so I actually kind of like this obstacle because you are just supposed to fall a little bit farther on the rope. I feel like a lot of players are going to try to see if they're supposed to rope glitch there on the first death, but once you know what to do and it's just a timed grab the rope obstacle, it's pretty fun. I almost didn't finish that thought at all. I also kind of wish that this coin trail started up a little bit higher, because the coin trail sort of leads, like, it continues diagonally onto it, but you also don't know, like, how far you're supposed to go, really. And since your landing is only a blind 2 tiles, it kind of feels like the coin trail, like, guides the direction, but doesn't really help the landing, if that makes sense. Because, like, even when I know where I'm supposed to be going, it still always feels a little bit farther away than the coin trail leads. Okay. Oh, there's 2. I think. That one felt different than the first one. That one, was a counterpunch that I was not expecting. So, again, an experienced player probably would have checked for a second Kaizo. And not dumbass. Let's go ahead and just call it what it is here, because I definitely should have checked for a second one after being hit with the first one. Is there another? No. Okay. Alright, so on the whole, that level's awesome. There was that one obstacle that kind of made me a little salty that I kind of save stated through, but the rest of that level was awesome, honestly. Really cool aesthetics, especially if you can clean them up and kind of link the pipe color to where you're supposed to go as well. I think that would really, really help. And the second half, honestly, doesn't really need any tweaking at all. Both Kaizos got me, so good job. And the only thing I would really recommend from the second half is using those gray platforms somehow in the first half if you can, just to make sure. Honestly, it's kind of been a while since I've played a hack that actually had Kaizos in it, so I guess I'm just a little rusty on it. But honestly, dude, that was a really fun level. I know I kind of got like a little salty once I started save stating and stuff. But I hope you were just able to kind of take it critically and not harshly, I guess. Alright, let's go ahead and check this one out now. This level only mildly feels inspired by Grand Prix World. So, first things first. This pipe, or column, or whatever you want to call it, and this column don't look very different, in my opinion. I, at first and second glance, thought that this was just a wall and this is the semi-solid, and then I realized, no, this is probably background. Welcome back, Insanity. I finally got through the last level, so we got new stuff. Oh, that's actual net. Okay. I was a little confused because the second level had custom tiles. So I thought this was a custom tile because Storks uses this as like a sprite destroyer block, or like a like if you don't have a block in your hand, you're dead block. So I thought this was something like that, but it just occurred to me I'm probably just supposed to press up as I'm falling. Yeah. Okay. So slight recommendation to make that a little bit more clear to the player. Maybe make this just a 2-tile net right here. Like, you don't need to make it any bigger than that, but since you have these Koopas swinging down anyway, the obstacle is still there if this is a 2-tile thing, but it doesn't look like a block, I guess, if that makes sense. Just as a blind player IMO thing. Which is a great way to describe criticism. I do like this background, though. I haven't mentioned this one yet. You have sort of a similar thing that I'm doing with Web Fun 2, where like it's very vanilla backgrounds, just have a little bit of modification to them to make them custom, and I'm definitely all about it. I would recommend to make the background columns like a lot less saturated and contrast, I guess, because these front ones obviously have more saturation and more contrast, but if this background color was a little bit more flat, I guess, it would sort of make it a little bit more clear that it's just supposed to be background stuff, in my opinion. But gameplay-wise, again, this level is super fun, and I really like the aesthetics of it. It feels nice and sky-y. A level similar to this would make sense, actually, in the cloud world that I sort of have planned for Bun World. So if I end up doing something like this, I'll definitely give you the shout-out, and then I think Barb the shout-out, since those graphics feel inspired by him also. Especially since you use the 2 vine later in the level, I'm definitely going to recommend using 2 vine here. Or since you use the horizontal 2 net later in the level, I'm going to recommend you use the vertical 2 net here. Just to make it clear, I guess, and to sort of give it a little bit more uniformity in the level. That said, I do really appreciate your theming. I like that it's not just like a random spam of like whatever the fuck you felt like putting. Like everything's like thoughtfully designed and fun and flows very well. Like all of the like criticisms I feel like I've had are like really, really minor. Hopefully, at least, which is always nice. I love how the second I start to think about this jump to actually learn it, I can't get this jump anymore. And then every time I just do it by feel, it's like no problem. So that coin trail sort of has a similar issue to the coin trail in the previous level, where I'm sort of led in the general direction of where to go, but I have no idea where the actual landing is, if that makes sense. And because the actual landing actually, like, it goes to here, but the coin trail is, like, the right side of it, I actually end up wanting to, like, undercut the coin trail and stop, land over here, and then jump over here. Which sort of feels, and again, I guess I don't really know your style, so I don't know if coin trails are kind of meant to be intentionally misleading or not, but they feel like just close enough that I don't think that they are. I think they just kind of like need a little bit of tweaking at the end, at least just to make them a little bit more clear to someone who doesn't know the jump arc yet. Because like now that I know that oh, never mind. I'm just dumb and grabbed the wrong coin. Disregard that entire conversation, please. Okay. Good checkpoint length. I feel like much longer than that would have felt like a little long. I feel like honestly the only segment I've played so far that felt like it was a little long was the first half of the pipe. The second half of the pipe felt like right where I wanted the goal to be, if not potentially even another obstacle, like another like super short one, I guess. But compared to the first half, it felt a little bit short. But it's honestly, I think, because the first half felt a little long, I guess. I don't know if you could potentially edit one of those obstacles out, I guess. But if you could, I think it would match up to the length of these other two segments that you have pretty nicely. Now that I'm thinking about it, I guess. Also, it's nothing personal, but just my opinion. I've never really been the biggest fan of landing on a Yoshi on a 1F0 only to immediately ditch it just for the purpose of, like, setting up another jump, I guess. Because, like, I mean, yes, it's technically a different input, but it's not really that difficult, I guess. And it sort of just feels like a filler jump. And honestly, even as a filler jump, like, these jumps that you have with the Super Koopas and the wing blocks are a lot more interesting in my opinion. And, like, again, that's just my opinion. Like, feel free to keep it and completely disregard that, because, like, I'm not really the biggest fan of only using Yoshi for, like, one landing and a jump, I guess. Like, I've ditched Yoshi's pretty fast in my hacks as well, but, like, I normally try to keep it for at least a second, or at least free it from something and then immediately ditch it, I guess. But like one that's just like already kind of sitting underneath you on a 1F0 right here, like it's basically just like if I land on that and spin jump, which I mean I guess is still an obstacle, but just in my opinion not my favorite obstacle personally. But that said, the rest of this level has been like super awesome flow, and like it still fits the flow of the level. So I understand why it's there. It's just, in my opinion, not like my favorite thing to do. Just because it's like not really that fun in my opinion, especially with how fun the rest of the level is, most importantly. So coin trail says to regular jump, but I keep spin jumping, so let's listen to coin trail. I guess the coin trail there didn't actually say anything because there wasn't a coin trail. It may be a little bit helpful, I guess, to put a coin on that winged block jump before the spin jump, just to indicate that it's supposed to be a regular jump up there. It feels a little superfluous at times, I guess, but I've noticed even like designing my hack, it sort of helps to have those regular jump indicators on jumps where you do specifically need like a big ass regular jump. Like if you can use either jump to get up there, obviously don't indicate just a regular jump, just a regular jump. But with how tight this jump is up to this next wing block, it definitely needs either like a high cycle spin jump or a regular jump. So I would definitely, in my opinion, just recommend putting a yellow coin there and sort of just tell the player immediately to do a regular jump and save themselves the trouble. Also, I just thought about it. I'll need to get back there before I can explain it. Uh, but if you were to remove that Yoshi, it would actually clear up another thing as well. And it's a really, really minor thing, but you may care about it, I guess. So, uh, so, uh, oh wait, it's still a 3 Pokey anyway? I thought Pokies were supposed to be 5 tall if Yoshis are alive in the level. Well, I was gonna say that if this was a 5 tall Pokey, you could raise this up a little bit, because while you can see the Muncher ground right here, when you're playing the level, it's sort of hard to see exactly how much room the Pokey has until it dies. So, at first, you may think that you have enough time to do it, and then you sort of just get trolled with it falling off. But, just for the impact of the troll, I've noticed that it's a little bit funnier if you can see the munchers and like see the death coming, instead of just kind of hoping you have enough time. Because especially when you're on the spring, you can only really kind of see the pokey head, and you don't really know if you have, like, you can't tell if the pokey head's here or here when it's about to die. So it's just kind of hard to see if you really made it or not, I guess, and that would be alleviated if you were able to move this up. But all of that criticism doesn't matter because it's only I thought it was a 5 Pokey, and you could move ground up in place of it, but it's a 3 Pokey for some reason, even though you have a Yoshi in the level. I don't know if it's like a custom thing or not, because I don't know. Whatever. Kobe. So it's a fastball and then a regrab. Alright, so I think it's just a slow fall regrab, which are the kind of regrabs that I'm like not super great at, but basically like on the down arc of the jump and the full down arc of the jump, you kind of gap it. Yeah, I kind of touched on that when I got into the level, but I think if this gradient was maybe even up to this like light gray right here, and another important thing, if this outline was not as harsh. A lot of background elements sometimes get a little hard to read because their outline is very similar to the foreground outline, and especially because the foreground outline is also not black. Like, your eye just reads warm gray and warm gray, which makes it a little bit harder to read, but just sort of elaborating on that more detailed color theory, I guess. Well, it's definitely a background forward bank, because I think it's just a gradient from the clouds to here as well. It's just using the colors in a different way. But it could very easily just, if it is a foreground bank, just be switched to a different background bank and then make this outline a little bit lighter. I'm going to turn a light on in my house. 1 sec, it's pretty dark. But again, just to clarify, because I feel like I've been pretty critical, this flow is very fun. Like everything makes sense and feels like it should be the next thing to do. And once I figured out what to do with the nets, like everything flows and makes sense. Hey Velociraptor, how's it going? We are just playtesting some kr00mmi stuff tonight. He sent me 7 exits, and I'm currently working on my second, so it's probably everything we're going to be doing tonight. I was hoping to potentially get some Celeste in, but that's okay. How are you doing? So the reason I'm really bad at these kinds of regrabs is because these are like tap regrabs, where like you have to be holding the button on the way down and then let go as you're on the way up and then hold it down again on the way down, and it just feels like super backwards and counterintuitive. Like it's fun to do, and I'm sure once I do it it'll feel nice, but like the act of actually doing it is pretty difficult. And the thing that sucks is like it doesn't really look any different visually when I get it or not. It just feels different, which is just in general kind of the problem with regrabs, because like they're kind of the one thing in Super Mario World that are like player-wise super fun to do and like very technical, but like watching them it's very boring, like even when you know what to do. Because all it's doing is like very, very minorly modifying my arc jump, or the arc of my jump, to be able to squeeze a little bit farther. It kind of reminds me of my Guitar Hero days, where I used to play competitive Guitar Hero stuff when that was a thing, and there used to be like star power charts or whatever, because people would like basically print out the midis of songs and like find and map out like the most optimal places to use it based on like, I don't know, like beats per minute and however many notes there were and stuff. And then people started to figure out that there were things called like squeezes, where you could like abuse the game's like leniency system pretty much, to like play a note hella late but then activate your star power on it like just before. So you're technically activating it like a 16th of a note like later than possible and getting just a little bit more in it. That's basically what regrabs are in Super Mario World, where like technically they're really, really cool, and like player-wise, like if you can pull off a sick regrab, like really experienced players will be like, wow, that regrab was fucking nuts. But like if you're a new player, you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like it's not that entertaining to watch. Like it's super technical, but it's not really like, it looks like you're not doing anything. Or in my Guitar Hero example, it looked like you were like missing a note pretty much. It's a little bit more neutral in Super Mario World, I guess. I don't know. Can I just get out of this section? I feel like I'm rambling now. So, how you doing, chat? I don't know how many people are here, but hi. Also, I guess since there are people here, I'll go ahead and gauge opinions on this. So well, it's a good thing you missed that, because it was a very long rambling. and it's good that you guys are chilling and enjoying. I feel like whenever I'm grinding stuff like this, it gets pretty boring when I just am stuck, so appreciate you guys sitting through the rambling. So while there are people here, I guess, I still haven't actually gotten my new headset that I was planning on getting, which is why there's like a little bit of a buzz in the background still. Sorry I pointed it out, and that's all you're gonna hear. But I was thinking about it, and I looked on Twitch last night, and I have 30 out of 35 sub points, and I'm debating just using like the 25 bucks that I was gonna spend on a headset on 5 gift subs to get another emote. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but gauging chat opinions on that now, I guess. I don't know if the sound quality is good enough that I can afford to wait on the microphone for a little bit longer and basically take advantage of September and actually get that 4th emote like kind of permanently for everyone who subs, or if I should just upgrade my sound quality and get at least like a headset that doesn't need to be boosted 13 decibels to be heard at all. While I'm getting opinions on that, I'll try to get out of this path. No! At least I saw that Koopa Troll before it happened. I gotta be careful of some Kaizos here before the midway, because this is obviously a very Barb-inspired level, and I've already been Kaizoed twice, so I'm definitely not putting it past. Yeah, and I guess that's the other thing, is that my mic streams, like, even if I get a new headset, like, my mic streams still are going to be fairly inconsistent, especially while Taylor's still in school. She definitely really liked the Mario Party stream and said that she wants to stream more and stuff, so, like, we'll definitely be streaming with Mike a little bit more often. But she still also currently is working on homework like pretty much every day when she gets home from school. And like I don't really, like, we have a 1-bedroom apartment, and I don't really know if I've ever said this on stream, but like I don't have a streaming spot really in my apartment. So, haha, there was a Kaizo and a second one that I died to again. I wasn't really expecting the one that replaced the tile under there, so that one kind of sucked. I was expecting the one directly under the midway. I hit it to check, but I actually was expecting that one. I wasn't really expecting this one, if I'm being honest. So, GG again. But the only reason I was or even thinking, I guess. It's alright, get your kitchen under control. I was basically just asking, since I haven't gotten my microphone yet, it was basically just going to be like a little sort of cheap Logitech headset from Target, but it was going to be probably better quality for stream than this microphone. This microphone's awesome, but because I have to boost it by 13 decibels to be able to be heard at all, like, it has kind of shittier quality than it should have. But I was basically asking, should I get that headset when I can, or should I just use the money instead, or the $25 or whatever I was going to spend on it instead, I guess, to basically gift 5 subs and get another emote slot, because I'm a lot closer to that than I thought I was. And I was basically just gauging opinions on what people would do, I guess, or what they would recommend, I guess. And then I got Kaizoed. And then your kitchen boiled over. And here we are. Whew, this is hard. So I'm gonna hope / assume that there's not a Kaizo on the right side of that midway, and that there's only Kaizos on the sides where you wait and jump up. Like, I'm assuming if I run at the Koopa wall and kind of like wrap around to the right, that I'll be okay. Nope. Okay. It's kind of a lot of Kaizos at the midway. I guess it's fair enough because I got around it, but I'm gonna be honest, like, that was intentional. Okay, so I think I gotta bounce off the Koopa twice, and then or I gotta bounce off the Chuck twice, and then the Koopa. Am I supposed to respawn those guys? I feel like no. But potentially yes? No. No, I am not. Whew, this is tight. Thank goodness there's a midway here. Well, that's not what I was supposed to do. I kind of like this like forced jump twice on the Koopa thing in the beginning. This second hit on the Koopa, I keep saying Koopa, the second hit on the Chuck where like it actually like hits him, and this bounce in this tunnel feels really tight right now. I might just scoot all of this out one tile just by kind of looking at the design right now, but that's just my initial opinion on it. Just because spacing this out by a tile doesn't really do anything but make it looser and a little bit more fun and forgiving. You know, I should have seen that coming. I kind of thought it was going to be a shell that dropped, but I really should have expected it to be an enemy based on the fact that there was a 1F0 under the net. I was like, why is this here? And instead of just like not letting that happen to me, I instead just kind of accepted that it was going to happen. I was just like, you know what? Let's just let it happen. Let's see it for some reason if this falling Chuck doesn't fall directly on me. Did not work. My strategy failed. Sorry, notice wife texted like an hour ago. It's almost her like class break time, so I wanted to make sure I texted her back before. Yeah, in my opinion, if this muncher was even right here, honestly, and that was it, like you would have a little bit more time to recover in this little gap right here and line yourself up for the third bounce, which doesn't have the crazy recoil, which makes this tight gap right here not really that big of a deal. So if you were to just move this one tile over, I think it would kind of help this feel a little bit more smoothed out. And I guess less likely to die to average recoils, I guess. But then I guess you wouldn't make it past that one, so... Oh, so you do have to jump off the falling chuck? Oh boy. Okay. Alright. I was kind of wondering why you took the sharp turn away from the Koopas, but I really liked the flow to the chucks and then back to the Koopas. So, again, great job with the flow. Both levels I've played so far have been really, really fun. And I feel like all of the mistakes... I don't know why I said mistakes. They're not mistakes at all. All of the, like, really minor criticisms, I guess, that I've been suggesting are, like, literal, like, 1 or 2 tile movements to smooth out things, which is nice. When you told me that this was not as far into the development, I was expecting something a lot rougher around the edges, I guess I should say. So, this is a pleasant surprise. No! And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. This is very fun, and this ending feels really nice. And I actually kind of like that you can set yourself up again on that first Koopa bounce, or chuck bounce. Not this one, but the first chuck bounce on the net, I guess. So you just kind of have to wrap around, but like if you get a weird bounce, you can sort of set yourself up again. If you get a weird bounce on the second one, you just die because the Super Koopa spawned. But I don't really think there's anything you could do to prevent that, so it's fine. And if it happens to you twice, honestly, you kind of deserve to die, in my opinion. So that sounded way fucking harsher than I meant for it to be. You deserve to get sent back to the checkpoint in a Mario game. Saying you deserve to die is a little more violent than I like to condone on this stream. Yeah, check hitbox is interesting. It's hard to build like really tight platforming. Alright, well, I'm glad you did not burn down your kitchen. And yeah, that's sort of what Light was saying too, so I'll probably just stick with the headset thing whenever I can. I was just sort of offering it as an option. We do have another emote on the way, by the way. If you're in my Discord, which I guess I could go ahead and mention now that I segued into it. You can look in my art channel and see CO Could Love. It's Madeline from Celeste holding one of the hearts. And hopefully it looks as good, small, as I'm hoping it does. I may need to redraw it based on how it looks, which would kind of suck because affiliate emotes are taking fucking forever to approve. So that would be another like 2 weeks. But hopefully it looks cute. And hi again, Ari. CO Kid 420, I decided to pull, specifically to pull onto FFZ. I'm going to need to play with that a little bit more because I think I named it wrong, to be perfectly honest. But that'll be an FFZ emote, and probably the first FFZ emote I actually have for my channel. but I kind of wanted to use a little bit more universal of an emote, I guess. COKid 420 will be perfectly fine for my channel once it's active, but honestly, I use hearts kind of all over Twitch. Yeah, if you'd be down to set it up, that'd be fine. I was gonna say, I was kind of surprised you heard that based on what you were saying earlier. I kind of wish this jump was also spaced out more, because it sort of feels a little bit more natural. I guess you're sort of having a controlled jump here intentionally, so that's fine. But just flow-wise, it sort of feels like it would flow a little bit better if I was just trying to do big-ass not regrabs off of that, rather than trying to not regrab but also quickly control myself. And maybe my opinion on that'll change once I get there a couple more times, but just initial impression, I guess. Also, honestly, it feels pretty good to be playtesting again. I feel like I've been kind of stuck in creation mode for a while, and part of creation mode is playing and stuff, obviously, but it's kind of nice to be able to sort of take a step back and see what other people are making, and sort of see what I can be inspired from again. So, thanks for offering Terminus 3 for a playtest for me. I know you're not actually like here right now because it's probably like 3 a.m. where you are, I think, but yeah, I couldn't remember exactly how far ahead he was, but I remembered it was at least 7 hours. But I told him I was going to be linking the VOD after this, so everyone say hi, Grimmy. You are up very late tonight. I appreciate you hanging out so late. I've kind of been not really great about sleep this week either. Taylor's been doing a lot of homework and stuff, so I've sort of just been stuck staying up with her, trying to make sure that she's not going to bed like unbelievably late. But it basically means that I've been going to bed like up past midnight most nights, which for me is fucking ridiculous because I'm normally like knocked the fuck out by like 10. I always wake up very early, so I always have to go to bed fairly early, especially compared to most of the Twitch crowd. But most of this week I've been up, like, a couple nights ago I went to bed at 2 and woke up at 6, and then last night I was basically tossing and turning all night because I don't think Taylor slept at all. And then I was up at like 3, so fun times being so exhausted. But good news is tomorrow we apparently have homemade cold brew coffee for me, so should be able to at least power through Thursday and Friday. Also, I don't know if y'all have had cold brew, but it's pretty goddamn amazing. And this is coming from someone who literally cannot drink brewed coffee to save his life. It's way too like acidic on my stomach normally, but cold brew like completely changes that and just like actually makes it smooth and enjoyable while also making it like extra caffeinated. So luckily, knock on wood, I've never been like addicted to coffee. if there's a drink I'm addicted to, honestly, it's probably sodas, and it's not like the greatest, but it's also not like the worst I've ever seen. But like for coffee, like I was saying, it's normally been too sensitive for me, or like I'm too sensitive to it, I guess. Both the caffeine and just stomach-wise, I guess. So luckily I've never had to deal with it, but once you get stuck on it, it is definitely hard to kick, especially once you have like morning schedules and stuff that you gotta follow, that you need the caffeine for early. No! Yeah, I didn't have any of it actually until I went to Maui for the wedding. And I don't know like if it was just like a new thing and I just happened to hear of it in Maui, or if like it just kind of took a while for me to just hear about it because I don't really drink coffee. But they were explaining it and they were like, honestly, like we have a lot of people who come in here like specifically for the cold brew because they like can't handle the acidity and like the heat that we brew our regular coffee at. And like just like probably like a month or two ago, we finally got a recipe for it, and basically all it is like getting ground coffee, getting like a cheesecloth or something, and just letting it like steep in a pitcher in your fridge for like a day. There's like more steps to it than that. That's basically all it is. And basically because it's sitting in there for a day instead of being brewed hot in like 5 minutes or however much it takes to brew a cup of coffee, it's like way less harsh. Like it still has like just as much, if not more, caffeine because it's been brewing for longer, and like the beans didn't break down because they were like flash fire roasted or whatever. And like it still tastes like coffee obviously because it's just the beans roasted in water. Yeah, if you're lucky enough to have a French press, obviously go for that too. Honestly, we've been pretty lucky with the cheesecloth, knock on wood. Like, it hasn't actually been, like, grainy or anything. I was kind of worried it would be. But if you have a French press, for sure, go for that, because that is perfect for that. But yeah, I think it cost us probably, like, I don't know, like $20 to make a pitcher that's, like, a gallon or so of cold brew. Or like less than a gallon, I guess, but like it's a lot of cold brew. Like it's not necessarily, I guess, as much as you would probably have with brewed coffee, I guess. Like I said, I don't really drink brewed coffee, so I guess I don't know the exact comparisons, but it feels like you get more cold brew for your buck than you would coffee for it. And if not, it still at least like sits way better, in my opinion. So that's been my cold brew PSA for the day. No! I was definitely expecting there to be another Super Koopa for me to land on. I didn't think I had to make it all the way up there. But I guess that's a PB. Amazing what not talking through a segment will do for your focus. Yeah, I didn't mean to make that nose stretch out for like the entire time I was like slow falling down that gap and longer, but oh well. It's a kind of embarrassing way to kill that shoot there. But okay, I think I just got a fastball onto the top guy a little bit. I think I did too big of a bounce last time, and I was expecting there to be something else to catch me, but I think it's just a fastball wrap around and then just do a big ass wrap around. I kind of wish this muncher was lower, just to allow you to get like this third segment of bounce off, so you could like still kind of wrap around and save it, potentially. Like if you get really lucky and like hit this at the right angle, it can still wrap around and potentially catch you right there. Because right now the muncher is too high, but I feel like if the muncher wasn't there, I could have saved that. And I feel like just if there was a way to nerf that, that would be generous and much appreciated for someone who's been on this segment for a while now. I guess I don't actually know how long I've been on the segment, but it feels like I've been on it for a while. Oh boy, that was a weird bounce. Okay. Alright, cool level. I don't really have any like honestly, it just stands out as flowing really nicely. I feel like all of the really small recommendations I had were like beyond minor, so good job. I'm gonna grab some water really quick before the next level. I should be back in like a minute or two. I'll be right back. I also grabbed a cheese stick, but I'm back. Okay. So, before I get into this level, general thoughts. This game's super fun so far. There have been a couple of times with the chocolatey elements where I've been a little confused. I always forget it gets to this if it goes far enough, where it just gets back to the original SMW music, or Super Mario Bros. Music. But yeah, this game's super fun. All the platforming and stuff has been awesome. There's been a couple of times where I've been confused by chocolatey stuff, I guess, but... Oh. This music is slightly on the louder end. I don't know if it's coming through that way on the stream, but it definitely felt like it was loud. Chocolatey element number 2 that I'm sort of confused about. I don't know if those blocks are supposed to fill all the way in when the game's paused. It's kind of glitchy. I had no idea that these were going to be Sprite-y blocks until then. Is this just an on-off block while a sprite's touching it? No. Did I just happen to pause it on the exact frame that it switched over? Because that would actually be kind of funny. I'm a little confused by what's activating these on-off blocks. So, Sparky touching it on the side activates it. Does Sparky touching it here activate this one? Is that what that is? Yes. Okay. I'm very surprised you stayed up as late as you did, but have a good night, Light. Thank you for hanging out. Have a good one, and we'll see you later. And again, this background is very nice. I feel like I've been saying that pretty often in this game, but you're doing a good job with the backgrounds, so keep it up. Alright, fair enough. I learned what to do, and you trolled me by having a thwomp that was just going to be a thwomp and not actually hit an on-off block. I guess there was no hard and fast rule that said a thwomp had to hit an on-off block. I just sort of thought it was when it was coming down. It's a good choice of song too. I would maybe just try to figure out how to lower it a little bit, because it just definitely felt significantly louder than the 2 songs in the other level. And I'm not normally one to notice that. Like, I feel like I'm pretty experienced with music stuff, like listening to it at least, kind of playing it, but not really. And then just, if I notice it, I'm sure other pickier people will notice it also. Yeah, what am I doing here? I'm not really sure how to navigate this. Also, did you mean to have these ones as backwards ones? Because I don't really see why those ones need to be backwards. That was worth taking to death. I guess I'm kind of confused why they're backwards ones at all, I guess, but... Alright, let's think that one through a little bit better next time. For some reason I sort of just thought the block was gonna like appear underneath me, but I don't don't know why I would have ever done that. Alright, so I do have to wait at least a little bit. Okay, so let's go right here. I can't wait a little bit though. Unless... Aww, it doesn't re-trigger it? That's lame. I totally thought that was gonna work. I was excited for that one. So I'm gonna assume that these are custom on-off triggers as well as on-off blocks, because it was under my assumption that that one would just hit that block again. Alright, so I'm gonna need to regular jump. No, regular jump, spin jump off the swamp. This little guy comes flying up, hits that, and this turns on. Okay. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not normally the hugest fan of these levels, just because there's kind of a lot going on and it's hard to keep track. But this level is actually like pretty clear on what to do, which is nice. So it sort of just feels like it's flowing behind me instead of like all around me. It's a very, very subtle thing, but as a player, like I sort of feel like I at least know what I'm doing a little bit more. Could have saved that if I wasn't a dumbass, but that's okay. It's just spin jump up. Yeah, I don't recognize this track either, but it's nice. And again, it fits the level, which is good. I feel like a lot of times when people try to pick music for their tracks, or music for their hacks, it ends up sometimes just being a lot of like good music that I got a double hit. It ends up just being like good music that doesn't always necessarily fit like the game itself. Not always, but just sometimes, I guess. So it's nice when the level fits the music and the music is also good. It also means the level's good, so 3 for 3 on fun levels for this. So good job with that, Kirby. Honestly, I'm really excited for T3rminus 3. If you said this is like really early into development, you're gonna like get it play tested by other people and like keep working on it and stuff. Like really the only like consistent recommendation I have, I guess, is that like maybe make like honestly even like a tutorial room in like the Yoshi's or Princess Palace or whatever. If you were to make a tutorial room in there or something, like just showing that like this is a death block to you, but Thwomps can live in it or whatever. Like players can kind of go back to that if they need to kind of refresh on what the chocolate blocks are, and then all of this is super clear and interesting and able to be read like right away. It's still super clear and interesting, like even after, like honestly even after you just die once and figure out what to do. But like it's kind of hard to keep track, and I had the same complaint in Storks, honestly. Like it's hard to keep track of what all the custom blocks do sometimes. But if you just put like okay. I feel like I didn't really do anything to die there, but that's okay. Okay. So that would be why there's a yellow coin there, because you are supposed to regular jump. yeah, this level's really fun. Um, it feels like it's all flowing really well around me, which is not always something I can say about these like super crazy fast moving levels and stuff. I still don't entirely know what I'm supposed to do on this one. Okay. A little bit faster than that, but that's the general idea. And then I assume I just spin jump off the swamp, probably just onto the ground instead of that one isolated block. And then it looked like a P-speed section. But one thing I can definitely recommend about this hack so far, and not just even, like this isn't like a recommendation for playtesting stuff, this is just like a play in general thing. This game is very fun, and if this is any indication of what's coming for Terminus 3, I think Terminus 3 is actually gonna be surprisingly popular. Terminus 2 acceptance sort of became like a little bit of a meme with how much like kr00mmi had to like randomly fix about it, but honestly this is really fun, and like I like kr00mmi, and like I don't have a problem like talking him up when I need to, but like even just as a neutral party, like this is a good game and it's fun, and honestly it looks very nice. Like it's the right kind of like vanilla blend where it's like fresh, but it's still like, especially when you know what everything does, it's still very clear and easy to read. Like my only like very minor complaint is like on the first life of this stuff, it sometimes gets hard to read exactly what all the custom stuff does. Okay, that's a really cool segment right here. I sort of talked through all of that, but now that I'm actually seeing this coming up, this is very fun. It's honestly kind of making me want to go through the trouble of putting on off custom blocks, which is something that I never thought I would actually go through the trouble of doing. But this flow feels really fun, and it's just good, solid platforming, which is always fun. So, great job on this one, kr00mmi. I hope I haven't been like overly harsh in other levels, but I feel like I've basically been nothing but positive about this one because it's been super fun. Like outside of my first death complaint, which I feel like I just complained, so take that how you will. So kind of thinking about it now, the one thing that does sort of confuse me about this level is that it starts with a Sparky, but unless I haven't like reached the other Sparky yet, like you don't actually use the Sparky to activate the on-off blocks again. So it sort of like throws off like learning the timing until you get to like the second or third jump, which isn't really like a big deal, I guess. But it makes a lot more sense that like the thwomps activate the on-off blocks or whatever, instead of like the Sparky touching it and then touching it again, because that actually did sort of take me a couple of deaths to figure out. And again, that's just mostly trying to make it like blind friendly, because once you know the timing, like it's super free, honestly. It's just jump, jump. But I don't know, just throwing it out there, I guess, since the thought came up. I got the double hit and was still able to almost save it, but then I just ran into the swamp instead. Alright, so I was gonna wait until I did what I was supposed to do and die here before recommending this. I think that this fall right here should just be like one of these little castle legends instead of trying to be an on-off block, and just move the challenge of this over here. Because I understand that you need to like lower the camera here to get this set up right, but honestly if you just make this like a kind of free jump, or even like a tight landing where you only have to land on like one tile specifically, and then you start jumping onto here, I think it would remove a bit of this sort of randomness on if you're gonna actually follow through or not. Because I sort of feel like I did everything I could have to not die there and still died. I wasn't gonna recommend that suggestion unless that happened, because honestly, like it felt like it was gonna be fine. But if that happens really at all, it kind of seems worth it to me, in my opinion, to let the players who are doing what they're supposed to be doing live all the time, I guess. Kind of weird voice crack there. Sorry, this is the most like actual talking I've done on stream in a long time, but I want to make sure that I'm actually giving like playtest advice and not just sitting here quietly playing something, I guess. Honestly, this is probably the most I've talked on stream ever. Because like most of the time whenever there's audio coming from a mic on stream, it's when Taylor and I are playing stuff together. Because she's a lot better at small talk stuff than I am. But this is more like analyzing stuff, I guess. And I don't know. Feel a little bit better about that, I guess. So yeah, if just like, even if only this pillar right here was like this, but down here, I feel like that would be okay, because I feel like I sort of just lucked into being able to do this. Is this reset? No. Okay. Then fall down there, jump up, fall down there, jump, 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 and then that's gotta be midway right there, I imagine. Also, I like that you kept that open, so if you do spin jump right there, you can still, like, kind of save it with the fast womp, like if you manage to spin jump your way back up there. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but if it was intentional, good job. If it was not intentional, good job. I realized it doesn't make it any less good of a job if it was intentional or not, because I had quite a lot of things happen in Bun Bun that were not intentional at all, that ended up like preventing cheese, and I was like, oh. Like there was one segment in Culmination Castle where like you should be able to do like a runoff instead of doing this like super fucked up jump wraparound thing, but because you're like falling off of layer 2 instead of layer 1, you're falling just fast enough that you can't do it. And like Third Wall asked me if that was intentional, and he's like, and if so, that was like genius, and I was like, I'm gonna be honest, no. Not at all. Like, it just happened to work out that way. Like, it never really occurred to me to run off there at all, but it's a good thing you can't do it. And he was like, oh, so, next time just take credit for it. And I was like, okay. So... yeah, that's an issue. Yeah, Gage, how's it going? We're just doing a little bit of playtesting tonight. I actually have a mic on for the first time this week, so welcome aboard. right off of that one. But how are you doing tonight? Sorry. Meant to ask, but this level's a little intense, and I think I forgot. Oh, you do use the Sparky again, I'm hella dumb. Disregard everything I said about the Sparky in the beginning. Not flowing, because you definitely use it again later. Thank you very much. Have a good one. And for those of you guys that don't know, Skage is currently playing through Bone Bun World, and if I remember right, just got to Culmination Castle today. So should hopefully be finishing it next stream, which is tomorrow. So feel free to check out his channel and show some support. Have a good one. And yes, Joe, this is kr00mmi. How you doing? My mic is also just pretty quiet, honestly, and this game audio is super loud for this level. I think that'll be a little bit better. Honestly, this game audio is like twice as loud as the other game audio. Thank you for that, sorry. I even said it was loud and then like forgot to adjust it, so it was like 100% on me. It should basically be like, if not inaudible, like a lot quieter now. I've also not really been talking too much because I've just been trying to focus and get through this midway. I think it was at -27, so I'll adjust it back to that after the level. Okay. Thank you for that reminder, by the way. I kind of got used to it being loud, I guess, and forgot that it was actually as loud as it was. And then I looked at the audio leveling, and it was definitely, like, far surpassing my audio. Alright. Don't kill me. You killed me. Okay. You killed me again. It might be getting to the point where I just save state before that fall, because I sort of feel like me dying there is bullshit. Because I'm sort of doing everything I can do there. Which is kind of a shame, because the rest of this level's awesome, honestly. Like, this is probably my favorite level I've played so far, outside of this fall that just kind of keeps killing me for no reason. Don't kill me! I tried to do like a really big wall slide and then just kind of jumped right into that block instead. I swear I had a plan there. It did not work in any way, shape, or form, but I did have a plan there and it wasn't jump straight into that block. Don't kill me! Don't kill me, take two. Okay. Sorry I'm standing here now. I just am kind of tired of like sometimes dying and sometimes not dying to this jump. Because I'm doing the exact same thing and dying sometimes, but not all the time. Which really sucks because the rest of the segment is awesome. Huh. Actually, that's a good point. Maybe this is... If that is a runoff, shout out to Velociraptor for fixing this section, because all you have to do is make this like a ceiling right here. Like if you just drag this to right here, or even just make like one of these ledges right here. Or alternatively, it's a runoff and you just make the coin trail right here instead of right here. Because the problem, I think, is when you're like over here-ish, the thwomp is taking just long enough to spawn that you're just falling through. So with that knowledge in mind, let me try to go back to the beginning and see if I can beat it from the beginning. Because I don't really want to save states come through this if I don't have to. And if it is just that like very, very, very minor spawn dependency thing, then that's pretty easy to fix. Either by forcing that to be a runoff and or slightly changing the coin trail. Honestly, I have no idea. I know Terminus 2 got like a little bit of play when it came out, but like I really have no idea. I'm probably going to go back and play Terminus 2 after this though, because this is pretty fun. I was pleasantly surprised at how well all of this has flowed, because you said this is a pretty rough draft, but this is really fun. Alright, so let's try to run to the right of this coin trail and do a runoff. Okay. So, that seems consistent. So I would force that runoff while holding regrab. Because that would be 100% consistent for getting just the perfect spawn from the thwomp, while also getting the perfect height from you to make sure that it actually spawns under you. Yeah, spawn dependencies are a really, really tricky thing to iron out, especially in levels like this where like it's very, you know, dependent on the spawns doing what they're supposed to do. I feel like that was a pretty circular definition by me, just using spawn dependency to define things that are dependent by spawns, but like it's more like a positioning thing really than anything. And a lot of the time, it's just slightly redesigning your terrain to force the exact jump that you want. So like for this runoff, for example, the reason I was having an issue with it was because I was trying to do a jump. And when I did the jump, I got like just a little bit more like falling speed than if I would have just like done a runoff from lower. Because like it takes longer for Mario to accelerate from a runoff than it does from like a full height jump and just like falling. Um, so because of that, like, I ended up introducing a little bit of jank that Krumi probably didn't know was there. But like, all you have to do to fix that. Thank you for the follow. I cannot read that because it's Joe. Thank you, follow. Thanks, Joe. I need to move that and change that text color for sure. But like for this, for example, Krumi probably did like just a runoff or something and never even like thought of the jump from there. And because he never thought of the jump from there, he never really tested the inconsistency of that. Oh, this is some fucking Storks wraparound note block ice tower bullshit here. The note block's my version of it, actually. No, it is the note block. I forget. It's Storks. But either way, this definitely needs to be a midway after this if it's not. Because this is a long segment. It flows, and up until that, like, through that jump is about where I would expect a midway to be, and I feel like anything after that would be kind of long. But yeah, like, even with this setup, for example, like, I wouldn't even really say it's one tile that's, like, off. It's just, like, I guess one tile off being, like, maybe the coin trail could be a little farther right to pull the player right a little bit more to get the thwomp to spawn sooner. But, like, other than that, like, Krumi didn't really, like, do anything wrong with the design of the segment. I think he just more often than not tested it with a runoff or like a really, really shallow jump instead of like the bigger jump that I was doing, because he gave room, so I sort of assumed I needed to do a bigger jump. He probably just gave room for aesthetic reasons or whatever. So just difference in visual opinion there, I guess. I feel like I am kind of starting to get tired though, so this level might be the last one, especially since I assume there's going to be an entire other segment after this. But good news means that means that I'll be able to do another stream of this, I guess, which is good because I'm having fun with this. I didn't necessarily want to commit to another stream of this if I didn't like it as much as I have been, if I'm being perfectly honest. But this has been a ton of fun. It sounded awesome, it's looked awesome, it's played awesome. It's a little harder than I was expecting, but also like a nice difficulty, especially like with a couple of these like really, really small things ironed out. That runoff seems to like have perfectly fixed that, so this is tough. Okay. Probably just gonna stop talking for a sec so I can just focus and get through this. Hey Zach, how's it going? Yeah. Oh my god. Woo! Good thing I waited. Oh, it's the end. Okay. Whew! Thanks, guys. I'm doing well. I've just been hanging out playing some Krumi levels and stuff, and they're all really fun, so... So I don't exactly know if I'm gonna have time to beat this level because I only have about like another half hour to stream, but I'll go ahead and check this out. Why not? So I appreciate the tutorial room here, but this is a very, very, very white and white only palette. Have a good night, Ari. I feel like that was a pretty lucky shot, and then I fucked up the easiest jump of all time. Okay. Yeah, I would, for fixing this palette, okay, so I realized that a lot of times when I recommend palette recommendations, I don't actually recommend what to tweak. For this one, for this wood, keep it the edge white, but then fade it to like just the regular brown that it normally is or whatever. And then for this one, just have it be a white tip and like light grass, and then this can just be whatever. Replacing those colors and making them normal will still, it's kind of like what Freakin' Ha did in Riftworld actually, with Snowblind, I think is the name of the level. Whatever his ice level was, but like his palette for that specifically like wasn't like a super wild, super like white palette like this. Like it really only had like these little like white tip ground, and that was like kind of it. Okay. Oh. Alright, so I'm pretty bad at these levels, so this is probably gonna take me the rest of the stream. I guess I should have seen that coming. Well, I will say that I like the background color of this. So, like, if you wanted a palette suggestion, maybe even just have the white fade into, like, one of these colors right here. So, like, it's still pretty clear what the foreground is, but it still blends into the background a little bit more. And then if this is just, like, really whatever wood color you want it to be, like, maybe a little bit lighter. Because there's definitely, like, I don't know, this just is a little bright in my opinion, and it kind of makes it a little bit harder to focus on this level when it's like all only white, I guess. And with this already being a hard level. Okay, just wanted to check. And I assume the secret exit for this is just going to be in one of these downpipes. That's hard. Wait, can I land on these? No. Okay. Oh my, this is significantly tighter than the other levels. Alright. It was a little tight. Okay, well. Oh boy. Like I said, I'm really bad at these kinds of levels, honestly, so, like, this could just be me not being very good at this. Like, I've definitely never beaten, like, the Grand Poo World or Grand Poo World 2, like, ice levels, so there's that, I guess. Oh, that's not nice. I was all proud of myself. I didn't need to be ducking at all. Now I see that. So that was totally my fault. only mildly disappointing. Alright, so I'm gonna have to definitely shoot that shell, because there's no way I can get through there in time. Why do you give the player 2 fire flowers here, by the way? Is there a way that you can only hit one? I kind of wish that you had like another tile at least to unduck here, since this is the first like real chance to unduck in the level. Like I feel like this first jump should be a little looser than it is. Just kind of my opinion though. But yeah, I'm actually kind of getting tired, so I'm probably just gonna go in probably like another couple, like 10-20 minutes or so. I feel like I'm not really making a ton of progress in this level, but this is also the last level that I had available. And honestly, I think it's just kind of because I'm tired more than anything. But that's okay. So I guess if I am wrapping up stream, I might as well wrap up with my thoughts also. So overall, Kirby, I really enjoyed this playtesting. This level honestly is not my favorite, but it's just because I'm not really the biggest fan of this style of ice sliding stuff, where you like have to like unduck at really specific points and like turn around and fire flower instead. Like it's just kind of a really precise type of sliding that maybe I'm just too tired for now. Maybe it's also the palette, I guess. But outside it, I guess I'll go ahead and go back to the main, because I think I'm kind of overplaying right now, honestly. But overall, this is awesome. Like, just because I was like a little bit more negative about that level, please don't make that or extrapolate that, I guess. Every level was really fun. I really liked that every flow also felt unique, which is kind of nice. Your theming's really strong, which is also really good and pretty rare, so please keep that up. Your music choice is really good, although this level was a little bit louder than the others. But yeah, I will definitely play test a little bit more. I'll get back to this one probably either tomorrow or Friday whenever I stream again. I'm sort of kind of ending abruptly, I guess, but it's sort of like all caught up to me at once exactly how tired I actually was. So I'll just go ahead and kind of call it here now. Let's go ahead and pass you guys on over to Baron Supreme, who's working on his hack right now. I think it's Super World, if I remember right. But all of his graphics are custom and stuff. He's drawn them himself, so go check him out, go support him. Thanks, guys. I'll be back tomorrow probably to either play this or potentially get back to design on my own. But thanks for coming. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.